Hey guys, long time no see. I thought I'd bring you out here and show you something I've kind of been turned on to for a while, and it's silicone sluice box mats for prospecting gold. And I saw this come up a while back, 4 or 5 weeks, and I thought, man, that is cool. So I thought I'd give it a shot. Anyway, I 3D printed up a sluice box riffle pattern for a mat, and I hot glued it down to this piece of wood, and I built a little frame for it. Now I left the edges kind of proud so that it gets this little lip, where you see the edge, so I can put it in my sluice box, run some silicone in there, and it won't spooge into the riffles. Ooh boy, the smell of this is strong. Imagine all these tubes of silicone, it stinks. But anyway, my mat is 10.5 inches wide. Yeah, 10.5 inches wide, and the riffles are 6.5 inches, I guess, long. But one tube of silicone won't fill this amount. It takes about a, get out of here, fly. It takes about a tube and a third, so at this thickness, I'm not doing it terribly thick. I'm making it pretty thin. But anyway, so what I do to get it all lined up even, and I haven't seen anyone do this before. See, I got the frame here, and I put this part of the frame in, and then I take the mat and I hook the first 2 riffles right in. Get it lined up here. I hook the first 2 riffles right in where they fit in the mold. Get them in there. These ones are being a little stubborn. Get them pushed in there good, so they're right where they need to be, right? And I put the frame back on, and then I only have this much, and it automatically glues the sections together, so I don't have to glue them together later. And what I'll do, yeah, there we go. It just makes the riffles nice and continuous, and they always come out the same distance apart, when you're going from one mat to another. I just think it works good. The first one I did, I had this in. It took 1 1/3 tubes, and then now I'm just hooking it over, making the mold a little bit smaller. Okay, now I'm using white silicone. I took a chance on this brand and this one because I found it on eBay for, I think it came out to $2.60 per tube, which is a pretty good deal. It's almost half price, I think, from just going to the store. But anyway, just not knowing that it would work or not was the hard part. But this brand does work. Normally, people would pick a clear silicone, like a translucent, no color. Either mix their own color into it or what. I just didn't want to do that. Couldn't find any clear stuff that was cheap enough for me. But I'm going to show you how I go about doing this. Got my soapy water here. It's quite soapy, and right now it's pretty nasty too. Just from doing this over and over. But just give it a little tiny coat of soap just to help it out. Okay. Take my tube, take my gun up, and I'm going to use this old tube for something in a minute. So I'll take my tube, get it loaded in my caulking gun, and I'm just going to chop off this end way back at the start. And then I used the little pokey bit that came off there and poke out the foil inside. And squirt it all in my soap. Alright. I don't want to touch it until I have a little soap on my fingers. Boy, that sure gets ugly quick. Get my hands soapied up. Need this stuff around a little bit. See, the moisture is what makes silicone cure. So you have to have water, and the soap just makes it so it's not sticking to everything. Works out pretty good. This is a Dawn dish soap. Alright, I think I got that pretty good. Now what I do, I just tear off a little bit and really work it into those corners where that edge goes down past the riffles, and try to work it really good into the riffles of the mold. But I'm just going to concentrate on the edge right now, because that seems to be it's such a tiny little gap to fill that you really got to work at it, it seems like. Tear off a little more. And I can see using this mold and silicone for quite a few things, actually. I don't know what, but it's fun and makes some neat stuff, I bet. Alright, so I got this pushed in there. I'll do the other side. Really try to work it down in those grooves. I hope you can still see me. GoPros are hard to film with. They have those funky lenses, but they usually catch more than you think. I mean, you're probably seeing my dirty floor and who knows what else, but I'm gonna push this stuff right down in there. Alright. Now I'll take the rest, plop it all in there, nice and wet and soaked up. Really work it down into those grooves best I can. Alright, looks like a mess, doesn't it? Alright, now I'll take the tube from the last go around and soap it up real good. Get rid of any bumps. I'll just use it to screed this down. I'll try to pull up all this extra stuff. So far it's worked pretty good. Just so far one tube seems to fill this much gap for this size mold and for as thin as I'm making the mat. But I'll just screed this down. Fill up any holes that I'm getting. Sometimes that's the hard part, because you got soap, and so sometimes you got so much soap it doesn't want to stick to itself. But get it worked in like that. I think it's working good. I think I got just enough. I have a little bit less than I need, you know, if it comes up a little short, I just leave it at this end, this far end, because that'll be the next part, and I can fill that in, you know, with my next tube I can fill it. Oh yeah, I think it's just enough. Fill all these little pockets. Keep making it pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but that really came out nice. That's probably the best one I've done. It just keeps getting better, and you get more practice, and it starts working better and better and better. Anyway, let me see. Where did my X-Acto knife go? Or my blade? Huh. Oh well, I lost my blade, but normally what I would do is just take a razor blade and clean up this edge before it totally cures up, and then if I mess up I can go back and screed it in just a little bit, fix it. Ooh. Yeah, just clean up all this wet stuff as much as I can. And if you got a little bit left over, so I got this little tiny bit, just look for a hole and stick it on there. Ooh, this stuff is strong. Setting up fast. It's already making the oh, that terrible smell. Alright. So that's it. Now we just let it sit and chooch for half hour or 45 minutes. And I will bring you back. Yeah, and I'll show you something else I've been doing. Put a little soap on my piece of wood here. Now, there's not a lot of fresh silicone on top of that old section of mat, but I want it to stay pushed down so it stays in those grooves and matches the rest of the silicone well. So I put a piece of wood down, maybe another piece of wood. Let me find something else kind of heavy, just to help push the setup part of the mat down in those grooves and hold them down. And yeah, I guess that's it. And I will turn the camera on in probably an hour and blab some more. Alright, well, the time has come to demold this sucker. And I did go find my blade. Woo! It still stinks. Oh, sorry. Can't wait to get this done so I can throw this outside and let it stink up outside. Alright, so I hope it's been long enough. Yeah, I think so. Frame popped right off. Now let's see how that edge came out. Not bad. I tore it a little bit, but I'll fix that with a little bit of silicone. Looks like it wasn't quite long enough, but just like that, we'll let her sit and whew, stink up the joint. See, the edge came out pretty good, pretty darn good. And I think these mats are going to work really good. Ooh, boy. So anyway, I'm going to take and throw this outside. And then what I'm probably going to end up doing is making another 3D printed part that I can stick under here, under one riffle, and then I can put a little silicone down and stick another piece down. Then I'll get those little lines and grooves and all that, and I'll be able to fix all the little spots that couldn't see. I thought I pushed the silicone down in there quite well, but still comes out with a little bit of defects, which, yeah, they're not going to hurt anything, you know. It's just for cosmetic reasons, basically. So I've got all my mat done for my sluice. It's all good enough. Yeah, pretty cool. Alright, so in conclusion, the mat came out great, I think. Still little defects, but, you know, it's nothing I can't fix and patch up or just leave alone. I think it's just cosmetic and won't matter a bit. Thank you, Alan Robertson, for coming up with this idea and showing us how well gold sticks to silicone. And yeah, Flower Gold Wizards for the excellent tube idea for flattening it all out. And yeah, I can't wait to try this mat out. I think now I'm gonna probably end up printing another riffle pattern, maybe smaller, much smaller, for, you know, I think it'll work better on the beach, or clean up, you know, much smaller sawtooth riffle. I can do it a lot thinner and possibly even get it to go on the back side of this mat. I don't know. Make it so it's reversible. Just an idea. Or I'll just come up with a whole new mat to try out. Oh boy, I got a good whiff that time. This mat, it's 27.5 inches and 10.5 inches wide. It took 5 tubes of silicone. So what is that? So under 20 bucks. And yeah, not bad. Can't wait to try it on the beach. Okay, hey, take care.